Greetings and salutations to all my booktube friends out there. It is reading update time. Last week I promised it wouldn't be another month or two before I did my next reading update video, so here I am a week later. I've only got 3 books to talk about, but the upside to that is I just might be able to do this video in less than 10 minutes. We'll see how it goes. First book is Beauty Awakened by Gina Showalter. This is the second book in her Angels in the Dark. This is the second book in her Angel series, which is a spin-off of the Lords of the Underworld series. First book was called Wicked Nights. I read that last week and I absolutely loved it. This book, I liked it a lot, but not nearly as much as the first book. So this series is about this sort of army of warrior angels who are not really typical angels. I sort of equate them to more of a badass biker club of angels. And this book is about the character of Koldo, who I loved in the first book. And he's a very tragic, sort of heartbreaking character. He's got this horrible past where his mother actually cut his wings off when he was a little boy, and they never grew back. And he has, instead of being able to fly, he has the ability to teleport to different locations, but still he's never gotten over losing his wings. And his father was equally as masochistic, so he comes from a really bad background, and he feels the need to protect this human woman named Nicola, who has this heart condition. Her and her twin sister both suffer from the same heart condition. And it's a very sweet, lovely love story. It was kind of too fluffy at times for me, which is kind of why I didn't enjoy it as much as the first book, but it still was good, and I definitely plan on reading the next book in the series whenever it comes out. Next up is Eleanor and Park by Rainbow Rowell. This was sort of a spur of the moment type read for me, and it is set over the course of one school year in 1986, and the two characters meet. I believe they're both 16, and they meet on the school bus, and initially they absolutely hate each other. They want nothing to do with each other, but they eventually begin to bond over music and comic books. Eleanor has a much darker, harder home life than Park does, which only made me sort of really desperately want her to end up with a happy ending. This book, the whole concept is about how powerful and overwhelming and tragic and sad first love can be. I loved their dynamic together. I loved how open Park was with how he felt about Eleanor. And then at the same time, I could understand why Eleanor was a little bit more reserved in expressing how she felt. But my main problem with this book was the ending. I did not like the ending at all. There was no closure. And considering this is a standalone book, it really pissed me off. It kind of left me feeling like, okay, this is the cliffhanger. I have to wait until the next book in the series to see what happens. But no, this is it. There's no series. It's just how it ends. And it really, really, really pissed me off. Originally I was going to give it like 2 stars just because I hated the ending so much, but I ended up upping it to 3. So I can't really recommend it. I mean, it was good. It was good for the first 90% of it. Let's put it that way. Yeah. Okay. And lastly, the last book I read is Night by Kristen Ashley. I don't know what is going on with me. Maybe I OD'd on her books, but I've attempted to read like 3 or 4 of her books over the last few months, and I just either can't get into them or I don't like them. And it doesn't make any sense to me because when I first got into her, I was just all about her. I just thought she was fantastic. And then, I read her Colorado Mountain series, and it was great, and I loved all of the books all 4 books that are out so far for that series. Then I switched, when I finished reading that, or when I was caught up with that series, I moved on to the Dream Man series, and I did not like any of the books in that series at all. And then I decided to pick up Night, which is her first book in the Unfinished Hero series, which is her take on a more erotic type of story. Okay. All right, so this book is about a girl named Anya who goes to a party with her best friend, who I have no idea why she's best friends with this girl. She might have some redeeming qualities, which you find out later, but she is just self-centered and just, I can't stand her. Yeah, she goes to this party with her best friend who wants to hook up with this guy who's throwing the party, and Anya wants to leave, and she runs into this dark and brooding and mysterious man, whose name is Night, and his name is Night Sebring. And of course, Night pretty much takes one look at Anya and decides he has to have her. And Kristen Ashley, all of her heroes in her books are alpha males, which I've come to accept, but Night is not really an alpha. He's more of just a dominating, bossy jerk 75% of the time. But my main problem, he has this thing where he wants her to call him daddy when they're having sex. I don't know if it's just me. I don't know if it would bother any of you. But when he says something along the lines of, my baby likes what her daddy does to her, that just sort of skeeves me out. I don't find it sexy. I don't find it romantic. I find it creepy. So unfortunately, I only gave this book 2.5 stars. You know, one of the things about her books that I think might be an issue with me is that she has a lot of the same repetitive themes. The whole alpha dog, how the girl doesn't understand what he sees in her. There's always a friend who has like a heart-to-heart talk with her and tells her to give the hero a try. There's 90% of the time, there's always an ex-girlfriend or an ex-wife who is psychotic and makes their life miserable, and there's usually something terrible that either happens to the main character or a family member when there's like 80%, and like 20% left of the book, and she just like writes the same story a lot, and yeah. I hate saying bad things about her, I really do, because I'm hoping in the future that I'm able to get into another one of her books, but anyway, okay. So that's what I read over the last week. You might be wondering what I'm reading now. You might be surprised to see what I'm reading now, but it is Thoughtless by S.C. Stevens. Yeah, the book that I was complaining about last week, saying that I had made so many attempts and I just couldn't finish it. I'm on like 355. I've got like a little over 150 pages left. Around the 40%, 30%, 40% mark, something happened and I got sucked into this puppy, and I've just been obsessed ever since. I still hate Kara. She's still too stupid to live, but my love of Kellen Kyle is over and like superseding my hatred of Kara, so that's what I'm reading now. And probably will be reading the other 2 books in the series over the next few days. So yeah. Oh my god, I'm under 10 minutes, so I'm going to shut up now. Okay, so thanks for watching. I love you guys. Talk to you soon. Happy reading. Bye!